Morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. Now, over on TikTok, I have a series that I call My Unsolicited Opinion. Nobody never asked me, just enough, right? And as a Jamaican, you know, so we enough. Gone to bed. Nobody can take that from me. And I, as a true Jamaican, am very enough. Okay, so in today's Unsolicited Opinion, we're going to talk a little bit while I make my morning cup of coffee. Now, the Blue Mountain coffee finally run out. I doubt if me even have 2 good teaspoons left in there, but I shall wash out the buckle. Now, for today's unsolicited opinion, I want to say, many of us as adults now, Jamaican adults especially, can remember a time when we were growing up when we never had all that we wanted, but we had what we needed. You understand what I mean? We didn't have the technology, we didn't have the frivolities, we didn't have the creature comforts, but we were able to get whatever we needed at the time. And for us, when we were going to school, one of the things that I think we needed more so than I want was the use of our guidance counselor and dedicated guidance counseling sessions, right? Come along on this with me. I promise you, I am going somewhere with it. See? So when I was in primary school, I remember there was this huge group called PALS, and PALS literally meant peace and love in schools. Zine, and I think it was March of every year, we used to have Peace Day. And on Peace Day, you would wear blue because blue was the color that we used to connotate that it was, this is all for peace, this is what we're about, right? I also remember that guidance counselors used to have a dedicated time slot session for teaching during the week. Similar to how you'd have your math, your English, one day of the week, perhaps on a Thursday afternoon, you'd be looking forward to a guidance counselor session where the guidance counselor would come into the classroom and she would give habits and talk to you. I don't believe that they were great at listening at the time, but I believe that they spoke, and when they spoke, there were little tidbits that you could gather from it that you could use for your life, right? Even as children, because I remember my guidance counselor at the time, I don't remember her name, but the one that I had at Westwood, she was very good at breaking things down. Zine, follow me. To my coffee, I always add a little bit of salt. A lot of people don't know this, but salt amplifies the flavor of the coffee, and so because I have less, I can do so much more with it. Zine? All right, cool. During the guidance counseling sessions, one of the things you would be taught is that you have to learn when to walk away. Even when you're in a fit of rage, even when the anger is up to your neck, you can literally taste it. You have to learn when to walk away, right? Don't put yourself in trouble trying to get out of trouble. It makes no sense. See? So I gave that backstory because I have been watching the news in Jamaica and it is becoming it has always been concerning. But every time a news story hits the news media about something happening that conflict resolution couldn't help, it kind of stirs me a little bit because we are watching people, young, old, and in between, lose their lives because other people are unable to carry out conflict resolution. Something that I was taught as a young child and something I hope that they would continue to teach people from childhood days when they're brain young and fresh so they can take it through to adult years with them. I remember a couple years ago, a gentleman offed his baby mother and her 4 kids. All of the children were his, with no cares. Kids going to school, unable to resolve their differences or unable to enact proper conflict resolution, are using knives to poke each other in vital organs. See? And then we hear the story of this young lady, and for whatever happened between her and the gentleman, he decided to use a machete and inflict wounds to her, which resulted in her being deceased. He then attacked her teenage daughter, who was trying to only save her mother. He then not only did that to the woman, but then dragged her body from whatever building they were in into the bushes. And that's where the neighborhood found her. And I'm going to say allegedly because for all intents and purposes, I know the news media can spin the news and everybody's giving it from their own opinion. So let me say allegedly because I wasn't there. Cool? Now, it's one thing for us to live in a society now where we are at our breaking point with mental stressors. I believe that for all of us who are here, hearing that living is hard, did not expect it to be this hard. And while I will never defend somebody who takes the life of another person, life is hard. There are many moments when I have been in a situation where all I can see is red, all I can feel is the blood pooling, all I can feel is me getting a headache, because when I get to that stage of anger, I start having a headache. And all I can do is literally talk myself off the bridge of what is happening to me in the moment, reminding myself that it is not worth it, reminding myself that my peace is more important and it is better for me to remove myself from the situation that is going to cause me harm or cause me to harm somebody else than to continue in a situation that does no good for neither me nor the person. Now, for many moments, I feel like with the advent of social media, we see people who get in aggressive situations, and even the TikTok algorithm now for Jamaica, sometimes it's a little touchy for me to watch it because I see people enacting anger in the space that is the most watched and they don't realize the effect that they're having on anybody else. And it's similar to when DJs used to sing about crime and then say they are not the one causing the crime, but they are not understanding that there are people out there who listen and learn and reenact things that they're saying in their music. See? It is just in the same way that social media is being used to watch perpetration of... Is perpetration a word? I'm just circling the back on the one because that never sounded right a while ago. But we watch these perpetrators on social media carry out these dastardly deals as pranks, you know, getting angry and reacting in such an angry way that people are going to feel like it is the norm. And so, we have a young 32-year-old woman who has now died, lost her life. Her child now has to live without a mother. And not only is the child living without a mother, the child watched it happen. So they in turn are going to now have their own mental issues stemming from all of that. Because trust me, even if the child seems okay now, they are not okay. See? And this man forever, wherever he has run off to, can't hide for too long, right? And it would behove him to give himself into the police. Because if his community finds him, they're going to mete out to him the same thing that he did to that woman. And in no way is that right. Because then how is anybody learning if we're doing the same thing? See? But if he doesn't get that and he goes to jail, then he becomes a burden on the already overburdened system that exists. See? I would like to send my condolences to all the children and women and men who have lost their lives because of situation that probably, if we were able to just think about it first and then walk away before we let our anger lead us, they have lost their lives because of said situations. I would like to also say, if we have the opportunity to walk away from a situation, whether it's a friendship, a relationship, a family situation, or even just an argument, if we have the opportunity, because sometimes it's not easy to walk away, but if we do have the opportunity to walk away, we need to do it. We don't have to go back and forth, because a lot of times we stay in this situation because we want to prove a point, and we end up being the ones that get left stuck or with the point. You see what I mean? Yeah. Conflict resolution is not easy. As a matter of fact, relying on your anger is probably way more easy than having to reformat your brain to go into a space of conflict resolution. And a lot of people will just go with what they assume or presume in the moment to be the easier route. And nobody ever wins. Because when people lose their loved ones, they in turn have to live with the mental toll of that. And you in turn are either going to lose your life or you're going to end up in the prison system, which is going to impact your mental health even worse. People need to learn that as adults, it is our responsibility to ensure that things like this do not happen. I am not casting blame and I'm not letting anybody off the hook. Please understand. Because as adults, human beings, we need to learn how to apply conflict resolution. We don't own anybody. We do not own anybody. You do not own your family. You do not own your spouse. You do not own your children. You are tasked with a mandate to make sure that your spouse and your children live the best life they can lead. You are tasked with the responsibility of being a family member. But if people decide to behave in ways that are not conducive to you, I think the best option for you is to perhaps walk away. Walking away not only allows you to reframe, re-navigate the situation that is happening, but it is also better for your mental and physical health. Do not be taking things from people that you know are liable to become angry at you, because then you become an obituary post. You become a face on the news that we only hear about for 9 days and no more. Life is too short for us to not want to live it to the very max. And I'm not saying that circumstances won't arise where people will lose their lives or not exist in this plane anymore. But if it's a situation that we can avoid, that's what we should do, avoid it. So I say all of this to say, I know that majority of us, I don't know if it exists anymore, but all of us who are adults now, when we were going to school, we were taught conflict resolution. Try and see if you can roll back your mind to those points in time when conflict resolution was an important thing to you, and see if you can use it right now as an adult to get yourself out of situations that will do you no good. The coffee is perfect. As a matter of fact, the only thing I cannot resolve right now, I cannot employ conflict resolution for right now, is how I'm going to get myself another bottle of Jamaican coffee. Yeah. My thought for today, because I'm going to try and leave these little videos with a thought at the end, is that please remember that your peace is more important than anything else happening around you. You must have peace inside before you can act, love, have faith, anything. Peace is more important. I hope you all have a great day today. And if you got to this part of the video, thank you for staying with me while I talk about this issue. Feel free to like, subscribe, share. I have 500 subscribers right now. Like, Y'all are turning me into a proper celebrity because I never knew that 500 people would want to hear or see me. But thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you have a beautiful day. And please remember, employ conflict resolution where you can. Remember peace. Let there be peace on earth and let there be peace within you and your spirit. I hope you have a great day.